I wouldn't agree with that.
Me neither.
rides and do shop talk for this new series, but since we had both Tom and Joe, we decided to do a little different spin. Background, we're all drag weekers. They were pre-drag week before I got there. Wait, what was your first year?
10.
10, and yours?
11.
11, and I was 13, so a little bit different there. So I used to think, backstory here, I used to think Tom was really cool. And he had 6 Seconds, which was built by the same person that built the black car, the black Camaro that won Drag Week in 2007. So to me, I was like, oh, this car is really cool. And so in turn, Tom was cool. But then I learned more about Tom. Now I don't think that. And then Joe, I remember one of the memories I have from 13 was you said that I would be back at Turbos the next year. Told Dad. And
Not really that. I said you should because you're like really slow.
You need something.
You gotta come up with something better than that. So that technically I should be getting some of the money from this fame you've gained.
the royalties.
The royalties.
The royalties, the credit. Okay.
It's in there. There's a Mountain Dew.
Oh.
Okay. Joe,
Alex,
tell me.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
this is my car back here, actually.
Okay.
12 foot in the air.
Yeah, 12
So-
foot in the air. 56 Chevy. It's all steel, glass. It's a real car from the chassis up, basically. After that, it's basically a Promont car.
And then you mainly do drag week, correct?
Yeah, it's really, that's the only thing the car fits in. It's too heavy for anything else. So that's where we fit.
Great. And then Tom has a couple cars. Some may know them. Sometimes they finish drag week, sometimes they don't. Which ones do you have? Because you have a couple.
Yeah, this is like 1.0, so 6.9 Camaro. And it has glass. The whole body. And then SICK 2.0, so obviously whatever that. Denny Terzic. I mean, they built that car originally as a Pro Charger car, whatever. Then when I got it, switched over to turbos. Definitely, because Joe told me that's the way to go.
So Joe's the turbo instigator. It all starts with Joe.
But no, my first 2 years I did it with a Pro Charge car, and just definitely, you can see that the turbos definitely the way to go for the amount of street driving. So seems easier to be more reliable. So not that that's paid off because I still don't finish half the time at least.
Ever.
So, but
And then 2.0.
2.0, another 6.9 Camaro. That's just full on street legal pro mods.
Leading into talking about drag week, I want to know which one of you is better at drag week.
Well, Joe would be better.
I don't know that it's better. It'd be, well, the problem is it doesn't relate to, when you do it, you want to believe finishing makes you better. But hang on, with that being said, finishing is not always giving it your all. As me and Tom have talked many times, he goes out there to, regardless of what happens, to be the quickest and fastest that day, which is a different outlook than I have. Mine's a survival thing, but at the end of the week, have you given it your all? So at the end of the week, you look back, and we talked about this last year, are you happy with what you did? And then you think, that kind of sucked, because you just did enough to get by to survive.
Well, but I think it's a two-phase deal or whatever. I think like obviously my first goal was to survive, and then once you survive, then it's you want to win, and I think that that's the part that, I mean, it's different for everybody, but I mean for me it's obviously like once you survive, then it's like then you just want to win, and if you don't survive because you were trying too hard to win, I would rather go out that way than just trying to make it through the week and do it. But that's once you got there. Like it's, once again, like the first goal, the first year to do it is to survive. Like, and I didn't. 50 miles from the last track out the first year. Second year I finished it. So then I wanted to win. So didn't finish.
Yeah.
Next year, then won it all with that car. So, but it's with anything in life. I mean, you just have different goals that, and everybody has different things. And that's where I just think, like we talked about, I think you're at that point that last year you were crazy not to turn it up and try and win. I mean,
This is depressing at the end of
So-
the week. Even with the win, it was like a big deal. I mean,
Do you think you would have rather lost by braking and pushing it at that point? Is that
considering where, not to take anything away from the guys that won, but considering where it ended up, it would have been better to break.
well, because it would have been
Not
good,
get
because
them
it
out.
would have even like, and Dave and John, I mean, they had an outstanding week or whatever, but it was a perfect situation for you to be pushing them, and then maybe to have to turn it up a little bit more or whatever, like kind of truly get that. I mean, it would have been an awesome year if Goldstone was there, because that's like, you would have had 3 cars right there in the mix that all in that kind of same
Yep.
deal or whatever, that it would have been a great fight. So,
And Bryant motivates me more than, I didn't look at the unlimited guys, even though ultimately that's what it is. With Bryant not there, I mean, I went there, set on kill, and then Bryant didn't show. So then I went back in and turned it down, and I 7-0'd it to death. I mean, we did nothing at all. But then at the end of the week, you think, well, that was uneventful. I mean, it just wasn't, you didn't have that feeling.
so? With that being said, like you are in Ultimate Iron, and you're in Unlimited. So Ultimate Iron is just the heavier cars, basically.
Just heavy unlimited, for lack of a better word. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone gets on this thing, this streetcar thing, pro mod thing. You rip the bodies off, you will not know one of the cars that they call a street car any different than the pro mod car.
So with that being said, what's both of your takes on the street car? Because you both have very streetable cars. Obviously they both have plates on them. Obviously they're both streetable cars. What's your take on what a street car is?
but I still think it's a proven thing. I mean, whatever the person, I mean, Freiberger's the one that actually created, like, he doesn't care. Funny car, you can play the funny car and drive it 1,000 miles. That's a street car in his book. And I agree. I mean, I think that, like, definitely there's an extreme edge to it or whatever, and it's like, it's how far can you push the limit? And I mean, everybody knows, I mean, there's only a couple other things to do, which, I mean, the biggest thing would be to run a 5 every day. I mean, that's the kind of probably the last big hurdle that's out there that may be possible, may not be possible, but that's as far as going to on the extreme side. And then I think that either once that happens or maybe people slowly give up on that idea, then I think everything reverts right back to more Joe's category, that it is as stock looking as possible, with a pro mod underneath, and how fast can you make that stuff go with all stock dimensions. I mean, that's I think that's the next way. And then it's going to be who can do it with an LS. Like, then it'll be cubic inches. How small a motor can you
Or-
run 6s in? Like, and
Or
I think
radio.
that,
It's going to be the time thing, and then we're going to back up into doing it.
yeah, like how different combinations or whatever. Because I mean, you look at anything, and I mean, there's always that fastest 4-cylinder. And now it's like, how fast can we make a 4-cylinder? I mean, there's always challenges out there, and it's like, and that's what's awesome about it. Is there's so many different combinations, so many different ways to do it, that sometimes gets focused on the real fast or whatever, and that's not necessarily. A lot of times that's easier to do than it is to do it with a 4-cylinder and run 7s or whatever. I mean, there's just
Or do it with a heavy car versus a light car. And I think people fail to realize that. And that's the same thing with the street car, because even yours is going to be heavier than just a regular.
Yeah, that's
road one.
3,400 pounds. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's technically a steel,
It's
steel
still-
weight car.
yeah, and
It
then
doesn't
yours
have
is-
much
how
going
much
for it.
yours?
But
3730.
And I'm 3750. So we've all got very heavy cars, and it's, they're street cars. They're street driven. You can always make something lighter. I mean, it's easier to go fast. With your guys' classes, you have smaller fields, so to say. Like you've got, I don't know, 3 or 4 cars. Is that
Well,
correct?
that's-
How many is
well, I mean, there's usually quite a few in unlimited because that's kind of the catch-all category
catch-all,
or
but,
whatever.
like, high-
As far as like, yeah, fast cars. No, and that's where, I mean, that's who's there and who's not. And I mean, that's where you kind of just chase your own goal. And that's like, I mean, same as last year. I mean, it came down to that because of Jeff with his conflict with schedules and stuff. And that I was just chasing my own goal. And the idea was, whatever, I'll either blow it up chasing the goal or I'll finish at the goal. But last thing wanted to do is turn it down and then, never mind. Didn't want to be a Joe Barry.
Okay, so
I didn't want to turn it down and just coast through the week and then say, yeah, whatever, this is great. I mean,
yeah.
mine was for a whole different thing or whatever, but
No, I agree.
definitely that, because I think that Joe's proven that he can finish the week every single week that he goes. I mean, so now, like, look at your other goals and say, at the end of the week, am I going to be happy standing there knowing that I could have ran harder? So, and possibly won the whole thing overall. I mean,
I think your guys' classes would be way more fun. Like being in my class, it's limited to 850. Also, I'm limited cage, but
But you guys had a good group of people. I
Yes.
mean, look at our class. Look at Alton Iron. We had 2 cars. The next car next to me was a 9.0 car. I mean, that's not the best competition, and it doesn't. Competition will drive you to work harder. I mean, if anyone had been close, I would have tried. I would have more than likely had to try harder. It wouldn't have been necessarily my way. But when you got a 9.0 car there, what do you have to do to beat us?
well, and that's the thing too, is like I look at like my first year was also Bryant's first year, and then Doc Fox was in that class or whatever, modified power adder, and you looked and there was a bunch of cars that were running around 850 or whatever, and you had that group that was running 850. Now, granted, they weren't limited to 850 at that time, but that was a cool week because everybody was real close. And when you have that, when everybody's close, I mean, that's just fun. I mean, that's like Woodward that we all did yesterday. I mean, you know what? Like, that was just a limited one-day thing that nobody's seen times, but it's about the good time out there hanging out with people or whatever. And you can't take stuff too serious. Like, some people like, oh, if you're in front of me, then I don't want to talk to you. Well, like, it is what it is. Like, we're all like same boat at the end of, like, when we line up, yep, we're competition. But when we're not, we don't have to be. We don't have to, like, be real secretive. Like Bryant, Joe, like all these guys, like it's whatever. Like everybody tells whatever. And
so I think you guys can attest that for the people that aren't so familiar with Drag Week, the cool part about Drag Week is that camaraderie. It's like I was talking and saying, I was like, well, I came to Woodward to know so many people because there's so many Drag Week people here, and that makes it really neat. It's a different group. There's some bad apples, like to the right, but there's a lot of good people as well.
I thought we were talking about Nick here.
Oh, call him out when he can't defend himself.
Yeah. Well, he was next on my rung, you know, after I took you out yesterday. I figured that would be the next.
there you go for Nick.
Just so you guys know, Joe's a cheater.
Whoa, where did that come from?
Isn't that what you're talking about?
No, I thought we were discussing.
All the ice cream eating
Oh,
contest.
you're talking about racing.
Yeah, I was talking about. Racing.
I thought you were bringing it up again. I was like, whoa.
Just because you lost, I mean, that's you got to claim everybody. See, this is a mentality that can't happen in drag racing. That's what makes it bad.
Yeah.
As soon as you lose to somebody else, all of a sudden they're a cheater.
He was a cheater.
Did you? Where was? I didn't see rules. You
I saw an
said
empty stick.
Make it disappear.
Doesn't that make a winner?
It disappeared. Did it not?
Okay, Fair enough.
Maybe
But-
you should see, he lived within the rules, and that's a lot of times what drag racing is how fine is that line with rules?
Fair
So,
enough. My mistake. I said no cheating, but apparently that wasn't cheating.
And then when we got on the starting line yesterday,
Yeah.
you made sure you had like a 3-foot
yeah, what's up
running
with
start
that?
at the starting line.
Yeah, because somebody ran over the timing block, so we had to go to arm drop.
That's
So-
only because they ended up in my lanes.
But then who's the cheater when somebody gets a running start at the light?
I didn't do that.
You were
You were-
10 yards back. Your 60-foot time had to be amazing because you weren't getting measured till you were doing 60.
Yeah.
So,
0.8, 60 foot.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I asked advice from you two. You guys could have.
we never said
It's
take
the
a
same
running
thing.
start
I
at the
said
light.
don't cheat. You guys didn't say don't take a running start. You said
I
just
said
bump
get
in.
about 18 inches from the guy. Don't be at the water box. Okay, I'm ready to start.
After reviewing this footage, I would like to defend myself because that did definitely happen. But here's the story. I have never really raced arm drop. I also never used my bump box. I did not know how to set it up. I was just winging it, and I pulled up, and I'd been asking them for advice. How do I do this? They gave me advice, and I pulled up, and I bumped in, but my car wasn't going anywhere because it wasn't getting any traction, so I wasn't moving. I'm bumping, and so I literally did take off with like that far of a gap, so I really did probably have a good 60 foot. But it's Joe's fault because he knocked the tree down.
Look.
I mean, I kept waiting. I thought I had a competitor here to race, and I looked in the rearview mirror. I thought, oh, she's back there.
No. She was afraid if she went too far, she wouldn't be able to back up. Somebody had to push. Oh, shit, I went past it. Can you push me back?
This isn't working. For those of you that don't know, I can't back my car up sometimes. That's a problem we have to chase. So yesterday I had to ask both Joey, not this Joey and Tom, come back me up, push me back. I just need a little push start. So that may be actually a concern.
Spoiler alert, it was a concern. For those of you that have watched, that was actually my problem I had on drag week. It was a big issue, but it's okay because we got it fixed. So.
No, so yeah, Joe gave me advice yesterday on how to bump box. I don't ask Tom because it's debatable if he actually knows what he's doing. Joe obviously is very experienced, seasoned with his capabilities.
Age doesn't always play a factor in that. This is like drag weekers' cribs.
So,
It is, huh?
Exactly.
I kind of feel cool sometimes when I think about because not you, please exclude yourself from this, but like when I
Yep.
get to like hang out with like Joe and stuff, I'm like man.
Nick.
Yeah, all the cool people at drag week. Like, it's fun because I'm like, they've got such cool cars, and it's fun being grouped and getting to hang out with them, even though they think I'm slow. But
We don't think you're slow.
No, the times speak for themselves.
The-
You're still running 8s. Yesterday you were still running 8s.
in the,
Well, I was an 8th mile. But
and there's
not that I was any faster as I did burnouts down there. So,
yeah,
but,
at least you didn't hit a wall.
so, yeah.
There was that bozo that hit the wall yesterday.
Who was
It
that?
wasn't
I don't remember. Some guy from a TV show.
it? Driving a really nice demon
Was a nice team.
was a nice demon.
Yeah.
Well, no, it was the Hellcat Red Eye.
That wasn't a demon?
No, they were Hellcat Red Eyes, just brand new Hellcat Red Eyes. Which
They
is,
just,
My bad.
but you gotta admit, they make so much power. You can't put someone like that behind the wheel.
don't put a drunk guy behind the wheel. Never know what he's gonna do.
Even Tom would have been better.
So,
That's saying a lot. So, okay, so that was, we're
who
done
was it?
with-
Richard Rollins?
You just have to go in
Hashtag,
there.
hashtag, Richard
Hashtag.
Rollins.
Joe, what's your best memory of drag week?
best memory. That one's a tough one. You know, honestly, the best would be, and it's a memory, but it's a picture I have in my office that can't think who took it. But when we went our first 6-second pass during drag week, and obviously the moment was great, but I have a picture in my office that a gentleman took of the whole thing, the run and everything. But there's a picture looking down into where we were at, and to see all the people, Tom, Steve Morris, everyone seeing the people you compete with, but actually down there, you know, wishing you well. I mean, that was a moment. That out of everything we've done, that was, you know, and it wasn't a big deal. It was $6.99, but it was like, holy cow, we finally, you know, went down the track. But to see that picture, because I'll walk in and on my office, I'll see that, and I see everyone's, you know, the guys you compete with, you were competing with, all those guys all week long. It's cool. It's just cool to see, you know. It's a family, I guess, of some sort, you know, dysfunctional or however, you know. But it still was cool. I mean, that picture probably, out of all the pictures, that's probably the coolest I have. You know, and it's a memory, but
In a picture form.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
cool. That's cool. Tom?
Yeah, I think mine would be in 13 with David Hokus or whatever on day one, and I'd actually never made a 6-second pass or whatever in that car because whatever, just getting the thing together in time to make it to drag week, and maybe I had maybe I had the year before. I think I had, but we weren't sure like if the car was gonna run everything like that. Hokus goes up there and like I don't even know what he ran, like a 680 or something, which was way faster than I'd ever been. And then that was in Bowling Green, and then it's like, dang, week's over. Like a Hokus just killed my dreams of anything, and then we go up there and we go 670 something or whatever, and just that first thing, and then just how everything was like mentally, and then on the drive when a Hokus and I were driving together or whatever, and that's to me that picture would be a
That
Hokus
picture's
and I
everything.
driving down the expressway, semi trucks behind us, cruising along in basically two cars that shouldn't be streetable or whatever, and just fun and competing with a Hokus that week or whatever. That was a good time. So and
That picture went all over the place. That's on the cover of Hot Rock, correct?
so yeah, I think so. I mean, it definitely was in there in the magazine. I think that was the cover picture, but and I mean, just cool. And that's the drag racing community though. It doesn't matter like drag week, obviously, like we have our thing, and then like with doing the racing with Skinny's car, and like anywhere you go to any of the tracks, like that's the thing about drag racing, which is, I mean, it is such a friendly environment for the most part. Like everybody helps each other, and I mean, drag week, obviously, the biggest thing would be the people that help you on the side of the road. I mean, that's the thing you don't want to be in drag week is the last guy, because anybody else is going to stop for you. But if you're the last guy, there's nobody left. But you can always guarantee, as long as you're out there in front, people are going to stop. They see a road, and that's one of the probably the coolest things is you see a car on the side of the expressway, a drag week car. Usually you'll see 10 cars parked on the side of the road after it, trying to get his car back together, back on the road. And I mean, that's the thing, and that carries on like everywhere. And like, I mean, with the drag week guys, and you don't see them. Like sometimes you only see them that one time a year because they're from all over the country. But it's like you see them every week.
Exactly.
So it's just, the whole thing is amazing. Like I don't know if there is any bad times in drag week. Like you break, but I mean, what's that matter? Like
you always got to
I get used to it. So.
I'm getting used to it now. I think I've made too much fun of Tom. It's jinxed me. But yeah. So that is our Riding with Alex Taylor Drag Week edition. Minus the riding. But we will go do that. Go for a drive in just a second.
Maybe. Bad in my eyes. I'm not your next boyfriend.
Okay, I'm gonna try to make that work. We'll see. But anyways, okay. Thank you to Joe and Tom, mainly Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
You made the interview great. So
You deflected some of the negative criticism I usually
Yeah.
you really did.
I could feel the negativity, just like, ooh, beaming.
Yeah.
He's really mean. He once
I
sent
get
me
beat
a
up by
picture
her
on my
all the
birthday
time.
telling me I was adopted. So telling me happy birthday, said happy birthday, you're adopted. So like,
And today isn't even your birthday.
Did they tell you different?
I didn't know. I thought that the family secret's out.
so like it's just deserved. So, okay. Driving condition. Signing off. Ride with Joe. Take 1.
We're gonna go back over your lost. You lost last.
Going back to the scene of the crime where I lost.
Now, does this bring back memories?
This brings back terrible memories. This is where Joe beat me. Right here.
And take 1.
Okay.
One. Hang on.
How many takes we on?
Can you do that thing like?
You have the thing, snap it.
Yeah.
Joe, bring in the
Here we
thing.
go.
Okay. Take 2. Okay.
Tom. This is my life in a, what do they call it, a bowl? Cup?
Nutshell.
A nutshell. Okay, look at this picture here. Mr. Bailey. Oh, that ain't even my car.
It's not even you.
I had way too much to drink last night. I had a real convinced that was me. Never mind.